back up yet again. I'm Jason Kaplan, once again joined by the lovely, the probably bearded Dogbert. It took me a while to come up with something to say for you. Are you there, sir?
I am there, probably bearded.
Yeah, you are unmuted, yes, and you heard my lovely rage when I had to go back to the weight screen. But we are here today for the ESL 1 Battlefield 4 seasonal cut number 2, and we are into day number 2 here. And you had the pleasure, obviously, of casting yesterday with Chadman, and then today you'll be with me into the 2 semifinals and obviously the grand finals. So let's go ahead and show you the brackets really quickly, if I remember which button that is. We don't even have a button set up for it now that I think about it. No, we do. We'll go with this one. We'll have to sit with this. Nope, that's not what I wanted. That is not what I wanted. People changing all my stuff really makes me annoyed.
I really didn't guess.
You know, you probably should have been able to. Is that the right one? Yeah, that's the right one. Okay, so yeah, really rough start today, but that is what we want to show you, the brackets. And as you see, as I finish setting everything up in this one, we have Fnatic going up against Pyrogen yet again in the second semifinal of the night. And then we have, of course, Planet Key Dynamics going up against Epsilon here. And I'm actually really interested to see how this one goes here, because we have Epsilon returning yet again to the semifinals. We have Fnatic and Pyrogen both there. PkD, though, fortunately in cut number 1, they did not get through because they got knocked out by Fnatic earlier on in the brackets.
Yeah, but they did really well yesterday, being able to take out Meet Your Makers, who, you know, I would easily put in top 5 team right now, possibly, you know, able to take on the likes of Pyrogen and Epsilon and Fnatic. But, losing 2-1 to those. And, they got a tough order, though. Epsilon right now, probably the best team in BF4. I mean, Epsilon and Fnatic pretty much like vying for it, but Epsilon probably have a little bit of an edge. Wow. You're just trying to get a rise out of me, but I'm not going to rise to the bait.
I'm trying to.
Yeah, you can try as much as you want. But yeah, Dignitas, they took on Pyrogen yesterday. First map, Locker went really, really well. First round, they did lose by, I think, 25 tickets, but they came back to win 95 in some really aggressive play. It really paid off massively, and it looked really good. Then Zaphod was just a complete and utter disaster, and then that was followed by Dawnbreaker, which was even worse. So, it wasn't great for them. But other teams, Icybox managing to take down Infamous, who took a game off Pyrogen last week and also beat them in a French Cup not so long ago. But they went up against Fnatic and just got 2-0'd. So Fnatic and Pyrogen is the top part of the bracket, and Planet Key and Epsilon at the bottom.
Yeah, let's talk about that a little bit more later on, because we actually are into the game here. I go ahead and drop this in there because we had them start. Well, I guess because of having to fix things up yet again, I was a little bit behind on that one. But we're in the game here. We're going to have PkD over on the Russian side, Epsilon over on the US side. And as you can already tell, we have already a lot of kills coming in here. As I believe that was PkD Tom being taken down. Let's go over the last for you guys at home, just so you have an idea of who's on each team here, because we had a lot of changes. Or actually, there's one change, I believe, on PkD. Everyone else is the same. We have Felix, Tom, C Nation, which I believe is a new person, and Jera was also put onto the team instead of being on UMAV anymore, as well as Outsider here. And over on Epsilon, we have Asterix, Marsu, David Suke, Duke back on his normal name instead of Shock's PT. He's now Duke, and Hork, of course.
Yeah, indeed. Scene has actually been in PkD for quite a while. It's just Jera's a new guy.
Oh, he went by Scene, didn't he, though? Not C Nation.
Yeah.
Okay, there we go. That's
they
what
like to change their name. I'm just confused as casters. It's really annoying at times. But
I have many words I would say to them if I could about that. But either way, let's give you a wrap of the map real quick. We're going to be on Zavod in the first one, Parasol Storm in the second one, and if we need it, Siege of Shanghai on map number 3. But we do have an early lead already coming in for the side of Epsilon. Control of A and B, not the best flags to hold on to, but they're going to take them either way. And we already do see, currently it's 19 kills in favor of Epsilon here to 11 of PkD. And obviously, you know, PkD, they did qualify, I believe they did qualify out of the groups, if I'm not mistaken. Unfortunately, didn't do too well, though, in the offline finals.
Yeah, they had a rough road when they actually got to the final. I think Dignitas took them out, and along with UMAV, they really didn't get very far. But, you know, they're not doing too bad in this game against Epsilon, who, you know, as I'm saying that, they're literally down to Jared right now, as he's the last guy up. But they got this B flag, but if Jared goes down here, and he does, this is pretty much a full wipe for them. And And now you're going to see Epsilon just moving for a full domination. There's the spawns, and this is why this map is so brutal if you get caught out like that. It is a top spawn pretty much consistently, and man, that A flag is just easy to capture, but not easy to hold at all.
Yeah, definitely. It looks like they will be to lock onto it here. We're going to see actually one man defend against it. It looks like it's going to be Marsu here, who definitely in the last cup, what we saw last week, he came up huge for their team. He really did. And right now, it looks like he'll just be waiting, biding his time here, not necessarily going to be pushed into A, but he realizes, I think, in a second that everyone's pushed out, and now he's going for the back cap here. He's pulling a little bit of a Horic roll, and as long as Asterix and Duke can hold on to this push, a 2-on-4 situation, they're going to be in a very great spot here, as we do see Duke pick up the first kill. We'll spot the second one, but won't take him down. Outsider will close on out here, and now it's all up to Asterix, who will immediately be dropped. So they will lose control of C, but immediately they have the 2-cap back on A and B.
Yeah, and that's always going to happen if you've got a player like Marsu or anyone who's actually around that A flag. They know what they got to do here. They know that pressure, because of the A flag being so susceptible to captures, don't bother showing yourself. Just wait until the team walks by, is going on the offensive, then just capture. So, perfect play for Epsilon. They lost the C flag, but they didn't lose the bleed. So, worked out perfectly. That's rotations in Battlefield for you.
Yeah, and I really like what we're seeing. I mentioned a lot, obviously, last week, but the maturity of the teams, we've seen it change quite a bit. We've seen a lot of teams really playing a lot slower and playing more strategically than just rushing in 1v4 and dying inside of a flag here. And I really like to see that, because it makes or it means that the whole meta is adapting and everyone's changing. Not to mention we saw the Scourge obviously taken out, not be able to use anymore, so people had to adapt in terms of guns. But right now we do see Tom. We're gonna tag on with him, picks up a kill to Marsu. Gonna be able to defend on to C here, as they do have that 2-1 or 2-0 hold at this moment. It looks like B will be capped over for Epsilon here in just a few seconds, but they built up a nice 40 ticket lead. And let's see if Epsilon can take a flag back. They have a lot of time to work with here, and it looks like they want to hit C here, as Duke going to be coming in from the other side. We'll pick up the first kill on Outsider, and that should most certainly, if they pick up the second kill, lock things down here at C.
Yeah, and it's an interesting start for both teams. Both Epsilon are ahead on tickets. I'm quite surprised how close this game actually seems like when it comes on to actually the flags and so on. But Epsilon just are out-fragging them right now, and that's where the extra tickets are generally coming from. Planet Key doing what they can, but they're really coming up with a problem, is the fact that they can't rely on winning even fights, and they're trying to go to just overwhelm. I mean, except from Tom, who's been doing amazingly well in this game so far. There's another kill for him, an important one. David 2K opens up that B flag, but look at that. Constantly, those 1v1s go Epsilon's way, and that always gives them the A flag.
Yeah, and it's completely being reflected in the kills, 46-32 now, and we saw Duke right there. He actually went out for a 3-man push onto that B flag, but immediately when he saw his teammates get taken down, he stopped, backed away to C, waited for some people to get respawned in, defend that flag, and it's working out so well for them. He picks up 2 kills, they defend onto that, and now with Horic defending onto A here, they might potentially have a 3-cap, because there's only 2 men, Tom and Outsider, defend onto this B flag here. So we're going to tag along with Duke and see if he can really do anything about this with the help of David here.
Yeah, and it's brilliant play, really, and Horic, good position, keeping himself in different places the whole time on A, making sure that it's always difficult for a capture there. But Epsilon really just dictating the pace of this game. They're going to probably lose out on the C flag, unless Marsu does something. But yeah, they're just harassing, keeping that 2-flag bleed, and just cruising ahead, really.
Marsu does spot that one man there, does get a respawn on top of him as well, as Duke comes down, look for a second kill, he gets it, and he will get the revive on Marsu as well, so they're going to maintain control of C here, picking up 2 extra kills, and Horic pushing along towards this B flag here. Not sure the man to his right is, but they're looking to take it, they're looking to neutralize it, and looks like David's going to be the man there, I believe, if I can read quick enough. And it looks like they're able to hold on to it here, and you see the side of PkD, they're backing off, they're waiting for maybe a couple of respawns as they do finally get them in. And Jera, he's trying to push in, and Jera, if I'm not mistaken, you might correct me if I'm wrong here, was previously on UMAV in the last season.
No, he played for Epsilon, and then he...
I always get the UMAV and Epsilon players confused.
Yeah, that's understandable, as they have kind of conjoined now as a team, twice in a row now. I mean, UMAV just seems to be the feeder team for Epsilon these days, but this is a pretty brutal game right now, and you know what? There's nothing Planet Key have just done particularly wrong in their attacks and rotations. It's just Epsilon are just better right now. They're just getting more kills, and that's just simply Battlefield domination for you.
As you saw right there, Duke picking up 2 kills, David picking up 1, and that's kind of funny that Jared's playing against his ex-team right now, at least 4 of the members, and Unfortunately for him, they're not doing too well here because it's 82-3 in tickets. All they need is to hold on to just for a little bit longer, and they will have secured themselves a giant lead here in the first half. 82 tickets, that is nothing to scoff at, and that is going to be very hard, I have to say, for PkD to get back in it.
Yeah, and Duke PT leading the scoreboard there, 20 for 11, and Horik obviously 15 for 5. Both of them pulling big. Marsu might look like he's coming in the bottom there, but man, that guy is just dangerous. And we talked, obviously you talked about him like last week. Like Marsu is easily one of the best Battlefield 4 players out there right now. Just smart, gets the kills, and just dangerous all round. And he was probably a bit hidden in the UMAV lineup beforehand because obviously you had, you know, Drunks and a few other bigger names. But yeah, but you know, Marsu's a brilliant player. Great pickup by Epsilon.
Yeah, and so far it's been working out for him. And this is what we see now, the Epsilon lineup, or the roster so far, you know, towards the end of last split and towards the beginning of this one, is that, you know, Duke, he's filling the make position right now. He's the one that's, you know, going around picking up a lot of kills. But we've seen, you know, Horik do that before. We've seen Marsu do it just last week. We've seen individually, they can all do that. They can all really step up at any given time and really put up the numbers. And that is a very scary team to go up against. But, you know, they played against Fnatic last week. They got shut out 2-0, you know, playing on Zavod and Locker. I mean, just in general, the quality of the teams are really getting better at this point, and I really know what's going to happen, you know, a little bit later on the cups, and not to mention we come into the groups where we saw last split, finally so many teams really step up and really, you know, practice hard and train for that moment.
Yeah, that's where everything really gets interesting, and I really can't wait to see how the teams have come along by that. I mean, already, like you said, the maturity of the teams is kind of getting there already. Like, not everyone's just rushing into flags, just trying crazy get kills and so on. It's kind of changed quite a bit, and no, it'll be by the groups. I think a lot of the teams are like Planet Key here already into the semis, so that shows some improvement already, taking down the previous champions in MYM. So yeah, I seriously cannot wait to see the surprises that we will get in the groups.
When you think about it, Planet Key Dynamics and Pyrogen were both two teams who never made it out of the round of 16 in last season in all the cups. So that right there is a huge accomplishment out of both of them, where Pyrogen now qualifying for the semifinals twice, and maybe even the grand finals this time here. But we do have, obviously, decided to swap. We're going to have Epsilon over on the Russian side, PkD over on the US. And right now, we're going to see that 2-1 hold in favor of Epsilon so far. But look at Felix. He's over towards his A flag here, but little does he know there's actually going to be one man here defending against it. He hears him out, misses a shot, unfortunately, and hasn't connected even just yet. We'll throw up the nade, but I imagine he's going to go down, and he will, in fact, fall here. They will pick up the kill, and they will maintain control of A. And it looks like Epsilon, with this 3-man push on a B here, will be able to actually cap that one over and get that 2-1 hold back in their favor.
Yeah, Tom trying his best over at B, but eventually getting taken down. But that spawn in the middle of the map there for Planet Key is a saving grace in a way. Usually you'd expect it to be quite far away, but no one on A, so there you go, squad bomb basically on the A flag, and David 2K is the only one who can really upset this here, as he's right in the middle of the C flag, and both the Planet Key guys have not even noticed so far. This is well,
I think they do now as he picks up one kill.
But
and
that's all it needed, because that's
they get it.
Yeah, that's brutal. I mean, the C flag should really be held so much tighter, especially with two defenders, but David just walked into that flag.
Why do you wonder, or why do you reckon that so many people on PkD went up towards the A flag? Because they had like a 3 or 4 minute spawn in middle, and they sent a lot towards A.
It just miscommunication. Yeah, I can barely even communicate here, but you know, you need that. Everyone needs to know what role they're going for, and sometimes it's just not there, and people do it off instinct. That's not always the right thing to do.
All right, well, right now we do have, obviously, if you guys remember, 82 tickets is that threshold that if we see PkD fall below, then we'll have lost out on this first map here. But still, like I said before, good to see them in the semifinals. Good to see them, you know, really stepping up here, obviously, in the second set of cups. And right now, I couldn't tell you which teams are going to get through the finals. We've seen a lot of new teams rising through. I mean, I guarantee you can name a couple off the top of your head that have really, you know, started to step up, really started to compete against the best of the best. And you know, I'd imagine we're going to have quite a few new teams come into the group stages, and not to mention the playoffs.
Yeah, I'm always waiting for the day where the Infused guys, the UK team, finally actually can get through past the quarters, because they always seem to come up against some of the big teams like Fnatic or MYM. So there's a team I would like to go for, but they're improving. They'll do what they can. They've got a LAN coming up actually soon, but it's just a UK event, so I don't think they're going to have too much trouble. But yeah. Well, there you go. But right now, like, Epsilon really are just keeping kind of good tabs on this game. I mean, it's pretty even on scoreboard, but really what's happening here is they're just running it down. They don't have to worry too much. 80 tickets from the last round is such a significant lead, and with only 150 tickets to start with, Epsilon are pretty much in prime position right now. It's difficult to get rid of them.
Yeah, I really like the play they're doing. I mean, you pointed out perfectly the fact that they have so many tickets to work with. They're not in a hurry to win the game. They can obviously take their time here and not let the other team get a tri-cap. As you do see Horik coming towards the backside of A here, waiting for maybe Scene to push out. He'll be taking his time. We do have a big push onto the C flag though, coming in from underground, and we see Tom pick up a kill here. So we're looking for the second one. He does actually help secure it, and that would be C now. Going over to PkD here, so they're going to get the 2-to-1 hold. We do see the spawns coming in towards the A flag, or at least spawn on top of each other for Epsilon. And Asterix now able to know where that last man is, but he defends against it. They actually hold on to that here. We might actually see a tri-cap coming in just a second.
Yeah, but Tom trying his best, but honestly, if there's enough Epsilon around, it's just difficult to take flags at all. But yeah, what they need to do here to take this map, really, they need to get a full wipe on Epsilon, get control of that BC and harass them and keep them pinned at that A flag as long as possible. If your opponent holds this B flag like they do now, these spawns are going to come behind A and C, so they really need to get them wiped, get that B and C flag controlled, and do what they can. But that's their only chance of winning the map.
All right, now they don't have a lot of tickets to work with, but they still obviously have a chance to come back here, as we're going to see actually a tri-cap not be held here, as Marcio able to cap over B, or at least able to maintain it for a little bit longer. But you can see, Felix and Scene both holding A here. There's two men, Outsider and Tom, holding holding C, and Jera, obviously just picked up, was at that C flag, but might be able to rotate a little bit more here. And they're starting to finally work at it. They're starting to, take away a couple of tickets. But remember, they only have really 20 more to work with here, and they will be down one map here in this best of 3.
Yeah, what they need to hope for is a combination of just too much cockiness and just bad play from Epsilon, but that's not happening. There's a crack in the armor at all. They're keeping the best hold on this map, the B and C, and they've spread out accordingly to defend the next coming push. So yeah, this is not looking good for Panicky right now.
Yeah, I feel like if they lose these 3 men, it's going to be over. Like, if they don't cap a flag soon, it's going to be over, because, well, 10 tickets to go here before they do cross that threshold, and we're seeing kills be picked up left and right for Epsilon. I want to say that's pretty much going to do it here. I mean, they're trying to contest B a little bit, but it's actually going to be locked down by Marston. That's just a bug on my side. But with 87 ticks to go, and they haven't really even started capping over a flag just yet, I think that's going to do it.
There's not much they can do here. Dev2J really can just finish us off here. The last guy pushing, and there you go, full wipe. Nothing left from Planet Key Dynamics, and Epsilon going to take the first map in, well, decisive fashion, I'd say.
All right, yeah, fantastic job to them. They do secure themselves that 2-to-1 or that 1 map lead here, and remember, they actually went into a 3-mapper in the last semifinals, last week, but they're looking to maybe take a 2-0 this time. We will be heading over now, though, to, I believe, is Parasol Storm. And that map, we've seen some ridiculous score lines, particularly out of Fnatic versus Powergen, where they had 120 tickets at the end of that map.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. Fnatic really know how to hammer down that map really, really well. Sometimes it does go against them. Most of the times, they do seem to get that initial 2-cap and then keep their opponent stuck out on the basketball court and really just like hold them against a wall and take their lunch money. But it's just brutal to watch sometimes,
Wow.
and they do it to some really, really good teams.
It's getting... never mind. I'm really tired right now because my sleep schedule's so messed up, but my mind drifted off into a weird place. The weird portion of my mind that nowhere it should ever be. But Parasol Storm, though, and actually speaking of that, I have to point out, have you finally seen the Megalodon? It was finally found out.
It was indeed.
I believe Jack Frags found it.
Yeah, that he keeps sending as many tweets as he can to the Dice guys to try and get some leads, and I guess he finally got the one he needed, and yeah, Megalodon is around. I don't know what map it is. I think it's in the DLC. So I haven't seen it myself other than the videos, so yeah, it was finally there.
I think it's... I hope Shaq can correct me. I think it's Parasol Storm. It could be a new map, though, because I know there's a lot of water, obviously, but it looked to me like Parasol Storm a little bit, but obviously not on this game mode here, so maybe someone in chat just let me know. That would be actually nice to see here. But we're going to be heading over now to Parasol Storm, and I'm really curious to see if PkD can maybe take it back here, because they look so strong, towards the end of last season, with the groups coming in. Playoffs, unfortunately, not too great, but they're definitely a top contender team here.
Yeah, they've had some great success in the past. Obviously, they picked up Jarrett here for...
Okay. Sorry, it's not... So apparently it's not Parasol Storm. It's one with 500 islands on it, pretty much.
The 500 Islands map. I had a feeling it wouldn't be Parasol Storm.
I thought originally it was announced to be there. Like, didn't people hear some, like... audio files on this map?
No, I don't think
Pansy
it's
in
on.
this, like the office trying to find it.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm going to leave that up to other people to do, because they've got far more patience than I have. If I'm not on a server killing people, I really don't know what I'm doing. I just can't. I haven't got that kind of. I don't know. I'm not a detective in a game. I can't do that. I am just a John Rambo. I'm hunting people down as best I can. No teamwork. Just get the frags, and that's about it. But yeah.
Well, isn't it nice to hear how Pansy spends her time here at the office, trying to find the Megalodon?
Yeah, no, I can imagine.
She tried finding the dinosaur, the T-Rex.
On Rogue Transmission, yeah.
Like she found the goat, like the reference to Jurassic Park, but she never actually figured out how it works.
Yeah, I'm hoping that the final DLC is going to be like dinosaur mode. If it's not dinosaur mode, I will be really, really disappointed. Battlefield needs dinosaurs.
I could see, you know, like some sort of like a RPG element where you have a team trying to take down this giant T-Rex and you're using planes and tanks. It's like Godzilla, pretty much.
I want to be the T-Rex. That's simply it. I don't want to have to use EOD bots to get kills. I want to use a T-Rex. I want to chase people with T-Rexes. That would make my day. ESL versus with dinosaurs. That is what I want. I want competitive dinosaur battle mode. We could go a bit too far with this, but
you sound really excited about this.
Yeah, man. Hire me, Dice. Hire me.
I feel like you've been thinking about this for a while, actually. Like, this could work out. Could take a competitive mode version of it somehow. But anyways, here, Epsilon going against PkD on Peristal Storm here. Epsilon currently up 1-0, and they will be on the US side here. We will have PkD over on the Chinese. And from the get-go, where do you expect... Let's say PkD, where do you expect them to go here? Because obviously they have an interesting spawn, or the more interesting side.
Well, they'll probably send 2A and 3 to B, but it looks like they're going to go completely against that and send as many as they can down the middle and trying to get that A flag at the beginning. Epsilon, though, probably the more disadvantaged side on this map, but they seem to be just correctly going for that A flag as much as they can and getting building control right now.
A nice kill coming in. I'm not sure who that was. I think it was Felix picking up the kill on a Duke towards the backside of that A flag. They will be able to secure it here. And it looks like with that kill coming on a Marsu from the building control that they have, they're going to get actually an early 2-cap here. But the real question is now, how long can they hold on to it? Because we saw in Zava, they took, a 2-cap, but they lost it, relatively quickly.
Yeah, they need to be quick here. Jarrett here had a chance to get 2 kills in the house. It would have been key, but goes down and there you see Cena's bringing out the rocket launcher here. They know that building is going to be an issue for them, so he's trying to take it out of play as early as he can. But David PK is going to be the sneaky guy here, and if he manages to get the kills as he does, multi-kill there, Cena and Jarrett going down, that opens up a B flag, and now PkD are going to have to go on the offensive.
Yeah, definitely will here. They're going to lose control of that, and we do see currently 2-3 men working towards a C flag, and I'm actually just tuning in with them just to see what can happen here as we do have a respawn come in. We have Astrix pick up a nice kill. I believe actually it wasn't Astrix, someone else though with the grenade, and they do maintain that push here. So right now PkD, they're struggling a little bit just to get control of this game back, and that's what I was saying before. On Zavad, we saw them take the 2-cap, but the thing is they lost control. They weren't able to maintain that, and that's something that Epsilon have been able to do so well in the series so far.
Yeah, and solid rotations the whole time as well, and that's where Epsilon are key. They know that they probably just lost this B flag, but look already, David TK is already on that A flag, getting the capture. So it really puts all that hard work and effort and time, more importantly time, because they had the bleed against them, comes to nothing because the bleed is still against them, and they're still back to square one of having to go on the offensive yet again.
Yeah, and this is something that we see in basically every game that we've ever done, for this, is the fact that, a team that gets early in the game and is being very proactive and not being the force to, be retroactive so they don't have to react to everything the other team's doing, they will typically always be in the lead. And right now you're seeing that, we have PkD make a push onto a flag, but then David, he goes off to A by himself, secures it when there's no one else to defend against it here. And right now PkD, they need to get one step ahead of Epsilon to really turn things around, and let's see what's going to happen here. They do try to cap over to C, but unfortunately, Outsider will be taken down and he won't be able to maintain that cap. And it's still an AC hold here, and building control, we're seeing it pretty split right now, actually. We have 2 members of each team actually in these southern 2 buildings.
Yeah, but right now, the thing that gets me is I just watched Asterix's beautiful solo defense of the C flag. He's sitting outside of the zone of control the whole time. He knows it's getting captured, he knows someone's there, literally waits till it's about 3/4 capped, then comes out and gets a kill. Because the guy who's capturing that flag already thinks he's got it, thinking the pressure's going to come from a spawn somewhere else. Asterix just comes out and drills them. And
not to mention, think of the time wasted.
yeah, all that effort, and especially for Coles as well from the team, they think they've got that flag. They're already going other places. Then it's all put to nothing, and once again bleed against them. So you know what, Epsilon's just playing really, really smart right now.
Yes, they are, and it's been reflected finally in their score. 120 to 100 tickets here in just a second. We'll have, unfortunately, Marcy get taken down on that B flag, but David is already going to be there defending against it. He's going to stop this push if it does even come out on top of it. And right now, the thing is, they make a push on the B, but they sent one man. Like, that was it. That's all they sent over towards it, and because of that, he dies basically by himself against 3 people. And that's not really... Well, actually, what's your thoughts on that? Because obviously you want to take control of buildings, you want to give them the support from the high ground, but one man can't defend against 2 that just rush straight towards that B flag.
No, and that's down to the fact that the people on that building should have been able to actually tag them or at least kill them coming in, you know? That didn't happen at all, and that leaves the guy in the middle basically at their mercy, so not really looking good for PkD. But then again, score-wise, this isn't too far out because their flags are changing hands quite regularly and the kills are coming across the board quite evenly, unless you're David 2K, who's got 11 for 4 already. But there you go, PkD getting almost full wipe on Epsilon. That was actually a complete full wipe. Is the only guy up is Asterix, and that comes from a spawn, and look at that. David 2K getting killed right on the spawn as well, and that's going to be a trip cap, but Scene here completely isolated, and he might be in a bit of trouble here.
We do have a little bit of a back spawn coming in, where they're coming in from the well, B flag area, as they are going to be actually pushing in. We see one man get taken down, though. We see this man all by himself, Jerry. He's going to get taken out from the backside, I believe, and he will actually drop to Duke. So B should be kept over here in just a few seconds over to Epsilon, I would assume. But look at this 2-man push on A. They cap it over, and they're going to be able to flank in on this one man who's sitting all alone inside these buildings right now. Outsider, I'm not sure if he's going to be able to do too well here. He doesn't really have any backup of his team just yet here. There he was. He will be taken down, and that would be the push onto B. And C at the same time. Wow.
Yep. Yeah, well, that, Marsu one-on-one with Jarrett. Marsu gets a kill, and that's the thing. Epsilon can rely on these 1v1s where other teams really can't. Like maybe Fnatic and maybe even Pyrogen and sometimes even Dig. They can rely on these 1v1s, but some teams just really can't. And PkD are definitely one of these teams right now because Epsilon across the board can 2v1. They can get these 1v1s quite regularly, and there you go. That's a trip cap coming in with only 2 guys on Epsilon on the actual on the board right now. Spawns are going to come in, but this is what's really dangerous about spawning in this game in general. If you spawn on top of your friend, you have no idea where you're getting shot from. Like, there is these moments of absolute confusion where you're just getting shot at from every angle. So the idea of spawning on your friend is so dangerous at times, and you see it a lot on Zapod, especially when people spawn right in the C flag, but they all just die immediately, and it's almost like 4, 5, 6 tickets gone for now.
Well, right now, even though they have that tri-cap, they're currently sitting down 37 tickets at this point. And, you know, there's also, isn't there God frames, if I'm not mistaken? There's like a couple of God frames in there where you can't actually be hit when you do spawn in, but of course you can't even see around you just yet. But right now, Epsilon, like you said before, they're winning out the 1v1 trades, they're even winning potentially out in the 1v2s, and the team that's aiming better just has the lead, and that's all it's really come down to so far. I mean, yeah, they are doing a great job of out-rotating and, you know, getting there at the right time, but their pushes as well have been very spot on in terms of how they retook that tri-cap back when they were, you know, obviously down those 3 flags there.
Yeah, good kills coming in at the top of the scene outsider, getting the actual capture of that B flag, but an overcommitment maybe because they need to keep this B flag, and it's just not theirs at all. It keeps getting captured over by Epsilon whenever they really put their mind to it. Look at that. Everyone that came near that B flag from PkD just gets taken out, and they're forced to try and go for A, but the problem with going for that A flag, it takes so long to get there. You get that capture, you're still quite far away from the action, and that building control is slowly but surely Epsilon's all the way.
Yeah, not to mention Asterix, who pushed straight from B towards the A flag and pick up a couple of kills. A will be captured over here, though, but we do see Epsilon respond immediately, and look at this. Scene going to be in the back of the flag. And can he hold on to this? Can he get the kills he needs? He's being shot at. He's looking for Horik, who's actually right over that crate right there. Just so the Naden does have some backup from his team finally, and they do get the kill. So they will stop that C push, and they now will get finally that 2-1 hold. But now they're in a very vulnerable position. But look at this, outsider off to the side, picks up a nice kill. And that's, I want to crown that spot or christen it as the Winghaven spot, because that's typically where he always sat.
Well, I think you'd definitely like to hear that. But Planiki, at this point, probably can't win this round, but they can still win this map and take it to a third. So they need to. They're doing it, and oh, that's almost it. Horrocks the last guy, and he goes down. That's a full wipe of Epsilon. And Planiki on the offensive here, going to get this B cap. They might actually be close enough to block spawns on A, and this is their chance here to not only win this. Take that score down, but win the round. That's another shutdown of Asterix over at C. This is looking really, really good for Planiki. This is what they really needed.
Yeah, they're doing a great job of really getting back in this one. They do have that tri-cap still maintained. They're still picking up the kills on Epsilon, even though it's currently 44 to 52 overall in kills. But look at this, 4 men of Epsilon going to be seen in towards this building. Looks like they're going to finally make a push onto C. Who's going to be 1 man to defend against it. Let's go ahead and take a look. As we do have another respawn coming in. They're going to have a 2-to-1 push here. And this man in the back, it's up to him, and he's going to spot the first one out, but he will get pushed in from the backside here, and if they lose control C, it might actually be a major downward spiral, because we saw quickly they lost their tri-cap before, and C going to get hit from the backside. He will get taken down, and that will be C picked up for the side of Epsilon here, though Jerry is heading over there as quickly as he possibly can to stop that cap.
It's all about the kills that come in the mid right now. Jarrett might be able to squeeze away a kill at the top. But it's what happens at B. This building fight that's going on right now is key. And it's only Felix left, and he's up against 2, and he gets down. Tom's in a good position, though, to keep spawning on him. They have C. They will probably lose A, but now it comes down once again to a B fight. But look at that lead Epsilon had. Where is it? It's all gone.
It has been completely diminished. They were up over 30 tickets at one point in this game, and now they're down to only 14 left here, and they're down 6 compared to the other side. And PkD Dynamics did a fantastic job of really clawing their way back in. I mean, it looked almost over just from how, they had that tri-cap, and then how quickly Epsilon just dismantled that hold. But right now, they've been holding on quite well. They have completely eaten away at that entire lead here, and basically with, only being 12 or, 17 tickets to go, it's pretty much at that point where it's a fresh new map, or second half of the map.
Yeah, pretty much. And Felix, the last guy up, gets the kill. It's only Horrick left. He's the only one who can really stop this from being a victory for Planiki there. And look, Jarrett right in the middle of the map trying to go for a full cap. Seen getting the kill on Davey 2K and Felix holding out that A. Brilliant play from them. And wow, what a surprise when it looked like it was going one way. 1 trip cap, 2 wipes, and they got everything they needed. That was brilliant play from PkD Dynamics.
Yeah, fantastic job of them. And now to come into the second half, hopefully for them, they can keep that momentum going. So we hit a map number 3, which would be on Siege of Shanghai. But Epsilon, you have to wonder, having such great control of that game for the majority of it, what happened? Like, how did they all of a sudden start losing these 1v1s? How did they all of a sudden not start to maintain these holds?
I really feel it came down to Epsilon starting to take the flag captures for granted. They started to group up instead of spread out. When we were watching Zaphod, they did a great job of fanning out, getting angles on PkD Dynamics, really just cutting them off in crossfires. And then you just seen there in the last few minutes of the game, they realized they were so far ahead. They knew they only needed to get the bleed. And then they just started grouping up, and they just got absolutely destroyed. And that's what happens. You start panicking like that and just thinking, oh, all we need to do is get the bleed, just jump into the flag. A team that's waiting in better position, they're just going to destroy you, and that's what happened there.
And you saw on the kills right there that no one really stood out on the side of PkD. It was everyone just doing extremely well. They had the top kills at 14, the least amount was, I believe, at 10, but they all were getting the kills, and that's also a really big key factor in the fact that they were able to pull back such a big comeback here. But now into the second half on Parasol Storm, obviously going to have the sides swapped here. And Epsilon, do you favor them more on the Chinese side now?
Well, this is where if you can get a good wipe at the beginning, it definitely goes all your way, and that's something PkD did really, really well with. They got 4 kills out the bat. They got that A, they got that B, and they got building control. Obviously, we talked about how they couldn't hold it for very long. Epsilon came in pretty much and bullied them off at B and C, but it was a good start for them and kind of delayed the fact that they were probably going to lose quite a few tickets. PkD really need a good start here. They need a wipe on either that B or A and get that bleed early, because otherwise Epsilon might start feeling quite comfortable again.
Well, here we go. Kicking off that second half here. Epsilon going to be actually sending 1 man over towards the A flag, it looks like. and sending the rest over towards the buildings. They immediately start blowing them up quickly as possible. Going to send 3 over towards this B flag here, and you're seeing PkD send 1 man, and let's see who actually wins the fights as they are trying to get control of themselves of the buildings. They will actually, I think, win out that battle, but I'm not sure they're going to win the war here, as we're going to see the kill come in with that B flag, and we will have that early 2-1 hold here on the side of Epsilon.
Yeah, really, Tom getting taken down A. He was playing a waiting game with David UK, and it didn't work. Jarrett, only guy left over at the BC house, and that's the one that the Epsilon were able to hold on to in the last round and did very well with it, but, you know, this is not the start they want because they're just getting isolated on the top of the map again.
Yeah, they are, but Jared does get a nice little bit of an assist right there onto, that was, I believe, Scene. No, not Scene. I don't know who that was in that building, but they get the kill either way. And they're looking to maybe take B back here, but as you can see, Epsilon, it looks like they're, at least David is sniffing around here for a push onto that C flag, and I don't believe he's going to have anyone to defend against this because that man that was there, Felix, rotated straight towards that A flag. So now as long as they can hold on to B here, and we're going to see Asterix try to push into this one to hold on to, he's going to swap the man out and get the kill. They're going to have that 2-1 hold back for themselves here in just a few seconds.
Yeah, and this is the hold they kind of want to go for. That A flag can switch quite a lot along with C, obviously, but when you have the BC house that they do with Horik and Horik and Duke PT, that's an easy one to hold, and that's what they're going for here. They're going for the reverse hold that you usually see, which is the BC one. And really, they're just going to work on the clock here and just let this lead do the work for them.
That's all they really have to. And remember, it was only a 15-ticket lead coming to the end of that second map for the first half. And honestly, that's not really that much here. And we could still see, you know, a huge lead coming for either team right now. But it's going to take away to the very end. We do have 144 to 109 tickets currently in favor of Epsilon. And Tom, as you see him inside this building, this is what I'm curious about. I want you to tune in with Tom for me, if you can, Dobber, because he's not really offering much. I mean, yeah, he's offering a little bit of information. That's the first kill, though, he's gotten in about 20 to 30 seconds of being in this building.
Yeah, but he's putting in spots. He's at least holding the position and being a spawn point for his team in case other stuff go bad. Sorry, it's important to have players like that because they're the ones that you can rally on if everything goes bad elsewhere. And some teams don't have that, and they all play ultra aggressive, which is fine. But if it goes against you, or one person goes heroic, then you're left with like literally nothing. And you're in a faraway spawn.
All right, now he does pick up a 1 kill right there. If he picked up the second one, that would actually, to me at least, justify his position right there. And unfortunately, he does not pick that up here. But they're still down that 2-1 hold. And the only thing they are maintaining is currently B here, and Duke is actually rushing straight in for it. We do have a 2-man spawn, though. Felix and Tom, one going towards C, one going towards A here. And this could actually be very bad for Epsilon here before... Well, they're not even going to notice it in time.
Yeah, they're probably not going to notice it, but look at that lead they have right now. I mean, it's quite significant, and they can feel quite comfortable in the center of the map. I'm waiting to see if they're going to rely on a random spawn, but they don't really need it. Just look how they're positioned on this map. They can just jump onto any of these team members and be important in play and threatening some damage. So, really, this is not looking good. Look at how many people, Planet Key, are leaving up at this C flag. It's absolutely just not worth it at this point.
All right, now let's see what happens, because Asterix is going to be up against 2 people at A. There's 2 people, like I said, at C. And one man defending onto that B flag here. It's actually just being capped over by the side of PkD. It looks like they will be able to pull back the tri-cap here. And this honestly was completely unexpected by me. And yeah, we did see them do a fantastic job towards the end of the first half. But I didn't really think they'd be able to keep that momentum and take it into the second half, considering how strong we saw Epsilon started out.
Yeah, but a full white bear and a trip cap coming up. This is how long can Planet Key hold this? The longer they hold this, the more tickets they're going to bleed and kind of eat away at this momentum. And it all comes down to kills like this. Tom doing a good job getting 1 kill, but so did Scene as well. And not only that, over at Asterix. And there's only 1 guy left, and that's Duke PT. This is dangerous, though, because that's 4 people that could spawn on them straight away. And that's what's going to happen. That's 1. There's probably going to be a second. And that's going to be a cap of that B flag quite quickly. But it's all down to how much Scene can hold this at C.
Well, we're going to see if he can. And so he's going to pick up the first kill, and he's looking for the second one. He gets it as well here, so he holds onto that 1v2 push, and that will give him control of C yet again back here. And we're even seeing Horik push in, not Horik, sorry, that Horik gets taken down by a member of PkD here, and that push successful again, coming out of PkD onto the B flag. They're going to get that tri-cap back once again.
Yeah, I literally do not know what's happening here. Epsilon all of a sudden are just once again letting themselves go, and there's David UK getting taken down. Scene by himself at that C flag has done so much damage individually to that Epsilon team. but it's basically throwing them off. And this game is leveling up. And at one point, Epsilon were ahead by at least 40 tickets.
Yeah, they had, I think, like 53 or something like that. That was a ginormous lead. And you're seeing Hork, he finally makes a push on A. He finally does get the cap onto it, but it's still a 2-1 hold in favor of the side of PkD here. And we're seeing Tom currently actually, you probably heard Asterix run away from that A flag here, but maybe just waiting for someone, maybe just trying to pick up a couple of kills, and he will head straight towards that flag here. So that A flag that they just got is already being contended, and it looks like they're going to lose out on it because no one is even there to defend against it.
Yeah, I'm just watching Scene as he picks up another kill. This guy is absolutely on fire tonight. I mean, Epsilon are in a good position here to make a play onto that B flag. You've got Tom, who's going to be a spawn point for a lot of the initial attack on this A flag. But, man, look at this. For the first time, PkD taking the lead here. And, man, if they can get a clear wipe on another of these flags, then I can't see them winning this game.
Well, right now, B and C have been capped, or sorry, B and A have been capped over back here for Epsilon. You look at this look at this line that they are building up. They do not want to let the other team take this one here after, you know, doing so well towards the end of that first half and starting off really strong right there. Finally, midway through the second one, and right now we will have a two-man push potentially with Felix coming in towards A. As Jer is just going to defend the buildings, and look where Asterix is. He's just waiting for the rotate. He's just holding on to that here. And we just eventually see that one man going towards that A flag.
Yeah, Felix needs to break out here. That C flag is wide open now. But, yeah, once again, Epsilon starting to regain some control. And that's a wipe of PkD maybe getting a bit too safe, feeling that they maybe had done it or and relaxed a bit too soon. And Epsilon now threatening a trip cap. And it's all down to how long they can really pin PkD up in the top part of the map here. And they're doing a great job so far.
Yeah, David's been buying a lot of time. That flag has been neutralized, but either way, they still will hold that 2-1 hold, or 2-0 hold, and he does eventually get taken down with those awesome ragdoll physics. But I feel like one, maybe two more wipes out of PkD, and that will be the game, because Epsilon have just not let this stranglehold on B and C slip at all here. But just I start to say that we're going to see PkD go for a two-man push on the B flag. We're going to unfortunately have one man taken down on the side of Epsilon, and no one's there to stop this B cap. They're going to get the 2-1 back for themselves.
Yeah, look like Marso is an interesting position here. He's going to be waiting for some spawns on him. Also waiting for PkD to start rotating out. And then I think Outsider might have heard that spawn. I think he did, but they heard him as well. But that's important. Marso gets taken down from Scene, who's over at the BC house. And this might be a chance for PkD to steal this map here, as Felix is sitting up there at C. It's his job to hold this Asterix down, but it's all come down to a C push here, really.
And it looks like they will pick up the kill that they do need. They will get C back. They will have 2-1 hold here, but for how long? As we're going to see Tom head over, looks like he's going to flank really far right here over towards the A flag, but immediately Hork heads down there, and you can see they realized that they had the cap, and they immediately left. They left Asterix there to pick it up, and they wanted to get positioned right away to stop these pushes here. And I think it's going to come down to David 2K, because there's a lot of men around him. If they can pick up these much needed kills, they're definitely going to be able to maintain this hold for a little bit longer, and potentially enough for the game to completely end here. As you're going to see him rotating along the stairs, will be taken down though. And that leaves two men actually out of Epsilon as they get some respawns in towards the safe flag. Tom will get taken down eventually. Revive coming in, and Hork does get saved there, but eventually just taken down the backside as they do send three more men there, and no one's already over or at the B flag capping over for it because Epsilon are almost completely wiped out.
Yeah, Scene in a very important spot on the map right now. He needs to do something when they come through this B flag. Marsu, they know he's there, and oh my god, Scene completely caught out of position here. And I think Epsilon might steal this here. They're rushing through B, and they're getting the kills they need. And there you go. One-man war machine, Duke PT, taking down two people. Even though Jarrett got the jump on him from behind, still gets the kill, and then gets the cap. And this is the last chance PkD have here. They need to push big on C and also hold that A flag, because I'm pretty sure Epsilon are going to attack it very soon.
Hork's trying to hold on his push here. He picks up one kill. He stopped the push on his C, and that might have just been enough with him just being there alone. He does have, I believe, one or maybe two men more there as he just fought him out, gets the kill, and that most certainly is going to be it, as no one else on the map from PkD is even in, as we do finally have the respawns come in from Felix, but that's going to be it here. That is going to be Epsilon taking it in a clean 2-0 sweep.
Yeah, no, wow. As much as you might say clean, this game really just came down to the wire. I mean, 15 tickets for PkD in the first round and 26 for Epsilon in the second. That was a lot closer than I think a lot of people would have predicted. And to be honest, PkD could have won that map, and they came very, very close to it. I think they just got a little carried away maybe at one point. They were quite in a solid position at one point in that game, getting the trip cap, getting two wipes, and And then it just didn't seem to work after that, and their moment in the sun kind of faded after that.
Yeah, unfortunate, but I think we saw some promising things out of PkD, and hopefully we see them back, obviously in cut number 3. But even though they did lose out, they did secure themselves, I believe, $100 actually, or 100 euros, and 50 points. And well, 50 points is honestly, I think enough to qualify you into the groups, because if I'm not mistaken, I think it was 45 points was the minimum last time that we got into when we had the top 16 teams. But either way, they're going to play in another cup or two, get a couple more points accumulated, and secure themselves a spot into the groups. But we're going to head to a little bit of a break, though. When we come back, we will have Fnatic going up against Pyrogen, and we'll see you guys in just a few minutes.